All right. Good evening to you all.
Good afternoon.
Please, can you all hear me?
Yes, please. Loud and clear.
All right. So kindly mute your mics, those who have 10 years on, so that we can have a very convenient and sound discussion. All right. So kindly mute your mics. AD, is it Aisha or Aisha? Dana, kindly mute your mics so that. Is it muted now? All right. All right. So critical thinking. Critical thinking. So among the UGRCs, I would say that critical thinking is one of the easiest. But if you don't take time, it's one of the difficult for you. Gilbert, can you mute your mic? Gilbert, can you mute your mic? So as I said, critical thinking is one of the easiest UGRC, I would say. But if you don't take it, well, one of the difficult UGRC for you on campus. Now, if you bear witness me, when job applications are being sent to you on your student's email or the posters you see around, you would clearly see that problem solving or the individual should have the problem solving ability, be a critical thinker, blah, 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 blah. All these are more like features or characteristics or importance of critical thinking. I agree with that. So most of us, we are doing critical thinking, but maybe our lecturers didn't probably, some of our lecturers didn't probably start from what critical thinking is entirely. Do you get me? Its importance, its characteristics. Do you get me? But then, have we thought of maybe doing research on that? Of course, no. I agree with that. So I always say that the UGRC that you are doing here, it is not like it's not my course. It is to help you yourself. I agree with that. Learning is one thing that when you learn and it sticks in your mind, it is part of you until you have a memory decay, until you die. Nobody will take that learning from you. Unlike money that somebody can rob you, learning is in your head. Unless that you die or there's memory decay, it is always with you. I agree with that. So let's look at some of the characteristics of or importance of what critical thinking. Then before we come to it, I think this one was some people's question, importance, or look at some of the importance of what critical thinking in relation to maybe some religion, some religious group, politics, and all that. Are you okay with that? So critical thinking focuses on premises and then your conclusion, and then also it's concerned about well-informed information. Also, critical thinking helps us to be open-minded regardless of what different worldviews. I agree with that. Critical thinking helps us to be honest in facing out our own personal biases. It also helps us to be diligent in seeking relevant information. So among others, these are some of the importance of what critical thinking. So now let's now proceed to the first question. Please, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Now, the first
Yes,
question
please.
says that. So before I come to that, as Barrister was saying, if you go to class, you don't pay attention in class. Your classes are always online. You don't go to class. You don't read your slides. How do you expect to understand the course? Of course, you need to understand it. I agree with that. So you have to go to class, read your slides, maybe ask questions when you need them. Ask lecturers questions. Maybe before you go to class, afterwards, you have the slides, read ahead of time. So when you go to class, you know, okay, this and this and this. When I read, I didn't understand this. So you can ask questions. But if you don't also pay attention in class and he or she is explaining, then you don't understand it. You come back, you don't read. How do you expect to understand the course? Argue that your exams are going to be maybe probably online on site. No, you get maybe me or barrister or any senior to be there explain things to you. I agree with that. So that is just by the way. The first question said that using practical illustration. Now this illustration simply means that using example or a scenario, but practical, using practical illustration in politics. When you talk about politics, what is politics? Is it some of us, or maybe some of us, we students, we think that politics is about the senior members politics, maybe what they are doing, NDC, MPP. Do you get me? You have to belong to NDC, you have to belong to MPP. That is what politics. Argue that. But in a general tone or in a low-key tone, politics is anybody who involves him or herself in politics, probably in leadership. You are engaging into politics. I argue that. So maybe from a senior high school, from junior high school, if you're a school prefect, if you're a common prefect, you are into politics. That is the general idea of what politics. But within politics, you know that you can see that we have different ideas. I argue that. When it comes to medicine, we have the herbal medicine, we have the laboratory medicine. So we also have different perspective or different ideas about what medicine is. The same religion. Now we have one true God, but within that religion, we have three aspects or more than some. We have the religious group, that's the Christianity, we have the Islamic and the traditionalists. We also have other groups, Hinduism, Buddhism, and the rest. All these constitute religion. Now, when it comes to law, we have law that we study, like the law of school. We are going to study law as a course, as academic field. We have a law that's more like rules and regulation, law governing UG, law governing your examination rules, maybe your house. I agree that. We also have law, more like again academic discourse, more like law of gravity, blah 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 blah. All this constitute of law. So when you tell me that this is law, this is medicine, me, I won't maybe probably understand your point of view because what it is what open textured words. And by now, I expect most of us, all of us, to know what open textured words. When it says something it's an open textured word, it means that what it does not have like one meaning. Just like you see, if you close the room, those who are inside the room are inside the room that you have closed. Nobody can enter. That's not closed. But if you open the door right now, anybody at all can enter. I argue that is open. So open texted words are words that are they have different or more than one interpretation. Something like love. My definition of love might be different from your definition of what love. The same applies to what religion. The same applies to what politics. The same applies to what medicine, law, etc. So having explained this, they're saying that using practical illustration in politics, religion, medicine, and law, explain why value judgment. Now, what is value judgment? So value judgment is what is in your first slide or unit 1. So value judgment is under declarative sentence. Declarative or statement or proposition, not preposition. Proposition is P-O. So it mostly comes in objective to confuse you. It's P-O-R, not preposition. You also have that same spelling, P-R-E. Now, so value judgments are under that. So within value judgment, you have what? Moral and non-moral value judgments. I've been asked out, explain why value judgment, unlike factual statements. Factual statements mostly describe the way the world is. So you can't say that maybe Accra is the capital city of what? China, because within the world, we all know that what? Accra is the capital city of what? Ghana. That is how we are describing the world. We all know that what? Daniel is a name of what? A male and not a female. So if we say that Daniel is the name of what? A female, then we are describing who Daniel is, yet it is what? It is. I agree with that. Now, value judgment. So let me tackle that again. The factual statement. They are what? They are objective in nature. They are objective. That means that when you say something is objective, that means that what you can see, we all can see. What you know, we all know that what maybe Accra is this place, Ghana is in this place. But when it comes to value judgment, it is subjective. Maybe abortion like this, I can say that abortion is evil, but to some group of people, or to some people, abortion is what it's right. I agree with that. So that's what it's subjective. Maybe what might be good for you might not be good for me. That was subjective. So you are supposed to explain why value judgment, unlike factual statements, will have no value. Would have no objective truth. And so, in a natural sense, or in naturally, I've got explain or I've even answered the question for you, because I'm saying that value judgment. Do you get me? Value judgment do not have what objective truth, because if you are saying out abortion is evil, to me, abortion might not be evil. So suppose maybe this girl is in her final year, BC or WASI, and she was sleeping one day and she was being raped by what armed robbers, and then unknowingly for her, she got pregnant. So do we want her to quit the school, or we can, if we abort the baby, he or she can continue her education? Do you get me? So in this view, as a critical thinker, maybe we can provide good justification to why the abortion there is good. But to somebody, maybe to a strict religious maybe believer or a practitioner, he or she will say what abortion is evil. So now the value judgment does not have what an objective truth, in that maybe if you all know that Accra is the capital city of what Ghana, that is all, the whole world, everyone knows that, or we can find it in maps. That's what objective truth. Please, do you get this question? Do you get it? Do we get it?
Okay, so Daniel, I want us to do things straight up. So in this question, how should they go around it? I think
Yes,
that's the main.
I'll come to.
Okay.
I'll come to that. But do you get the explanation so far?
Okay, sure.
Do we get it? Those who have this question, or or further explanation given, do we get it?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
All right.
Yes, please.
All right. Now let's move on. We have been asked to your response should between 500 and 600 words. So now, if you write less than 500, you'll be marked down. If you write more than 600, you'll be marked down. Please, you are a critical thinker, and you need to go by rules. Don't write less than 500. If it is 500, fine. Maybe 510, fine. Don't also write more than 600. I agree with that. Now, we are in the university, and every question that you are supposed to tackle, we need an easy question. It should have what introduction and what conclusion. So since you guys are doing critical thinking, and I believe that SO did accurate last semester, or in senior school did
This is.
Okay, so I think Daniel has been logged out. So what he's trying to say is that anytime you are given any academic work in school, which comes in an essay format, like how they've given here, between 500 and 600 words, don't assume that this is critical thinking. So the rules of academic writing doesn't work here. Anytime you are given any work, even whether you're doing theater arts, whether you're doing geography, even economics, or psychology. Give an introduction, give a body, and when you are done, you come and conclude, like how you were taught in academic writing, the same process, the same procedure, just that the content is the one that is the only thing that will change. Don't assume that this is critical thinking. Okay, Daniel, are you back? Okay, Daniel is not back. Don't assume that this is critical thinking, so you won't go by the rules. So with this one, with this particular question, I'm wrapping up on this question so that those who had this one will do it before we move on to the next meeting. So all those who had this question, this is how you're going to answer it. I'm sure Daniel may join later, but I'll tell him I've already handled this one. They are saying that we have some particular judgment in each of the topics they've given. So they're giving you politics, religion, medicine, and law. There are certain things that people believe that they are true. Some people believe that they are not true. Those of you who texted me, I look into politics. Let me take politics. You see, those of you doing a quantity, you have something called socialism and capitalism, right? So some people believe in the socialist economy and some people believe in the capitalist economy. Okay, good. So this one is like a debate. It's not like a debate. They want you to come out and defend it. Okay, so if you are saying a capitalized economy, what do you mean by a capitalized economy? And what? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, you are back.
Yes, please. Oh,
Okay,
data
so
now I have my dream.
with data, son, we use Wi-Fi on.
Wi-Fi and new room, you know, I'm using it, but I've come out, so let's continue.
Okay, so we have about
Alright.
7 minutes. So let's use this 7 minutes to solve this question on how
Okay,
I
thank you.
was
Then we'll come back
starting
again.
to
Okay.
explain. Yes, so let's do. Yeah, but
Okay.
now we've
So,
given them a
now,
Okay, go ahead.
so now, you see, you have to explain what factual statements and what value judgments are. Maybe that one, it can even take 100 words or maybe 50 words. I create that. So maybe you can start value judgments. Then what? Factual statements as declarative statements. They get me. So value judgment prescribe. They get me. The way we ought to behave, or the way we ought to the way the world ought to be. Please mute your mic. So the value judgment, it's prescribed. They get me, or it evaluates the way the world ought to be. You get me? So you can check in your slides. It is written boldly there what value judgment are what they are subjective. Argue that, and then you can check your slide again, and then you say what factual statement are what they are objective in nature. So you can check your slides and then see in there. So after explaining what this value judgments and then factual statements are, then maybe in reference to the question. Argue that in reference to the question, or in reference to maybe value judgment being what subjective in nature. Why has what factual statement what being objective in nature? Argue that a value judgment can never have what or can never have will never have no what objective truth. In that, due to the fact that value judgment it prescribes, and what it maybe also evaluates opinions of others in one personal view, because it's always personal. It is not like general. If you're telling me that I'm not good, it is not everyone that will tell that you are not good, but what it is it is a personal something. Argue that. So now you then you explain politics. Do you get me? To some discourse or to some maybe perspective or views, this is what it means. Do you get me? Then you will also explain religion. You will explain what medicine. Do you get me? Then now you now come to conclude after explaining them. You have to give practical illustration. And the illustration simply means that now, supposing maybe you can create scenario maybe Amma said what politics is defined as this, or Amma said maybe so far as you are into NPP or NDC, you are engagement in politics. I get that. Then maybe Kofi says that Kofi as a critical thinker says no. The fact once an individual takes up a leadership position, the person is engaging in politics. Or you can maybe look at definitions. But if you go and take definitions from online, you have to cite it, reference it. Otherwise, it will be a copied work. But better still, you can read and then polish it into your own idea. Please, are you getting it? Then you come to a conclusion. Do you get me? Maybe to conclude, per the above explanations or illustration, one can see that there are different opinions regarding politics, regarding religion, regarding medicine, regarding law. Hence, they are subjective. They have subjective interpretation, or they have subjective meaning. Argue that. So one classify them value judgments, thereby not having objective truth. Simple. What we are we all clear? Any question?
Yeah,
Hello.
Daniel.
Hello.
Yeah, Daniel, please can you
Yeah.
hear me? Yeah, so I want to know whether the practical example you are going to use.
Yeah, I can hear. I can hear you.
Yeah, so the practical example you are going to use for politics will be different from law or the others, right?
Yes. So you see, yeah, you have been asked to use law. Like once you have a can law, you come and talk about law. Because as I said, law. You can even state. You can even say that law. As I said, it is open texted. It is open text. That means that they have different views. You see, maybe one person, and I said I have law as a course that we learn. They get me subjective. So if I say law, like explain to me law, you get me. So you see, the value judgment it will prescribe how like you are supposed to be or how the world is supposed to be. You get me. So in that prescription, give like do this way, more like a command. You get me? So you can now look at practical illustration. Where can I include law? How do you get it? Okay, there be Amma committed abortion. Do you get me? And by law, Amma has to be killed. You see, this is a practical illustration, and it's it is value driven because we are prescribing the way Amma should be.
Okay, so we are done with the first question. I'm sure he will add maybe 1 or 2 recordings on the pages. So the next one is what we have here.
Mike, we will take you off.
Okay. So this will be the next question.
Mute your mic. We will take you off.
Our time is
any other
almost
question
up.
on the first question? Any other problem on the first question? Browser, can you take the guy off? Junior, can you take him off? Take him off. Any other question on the first?
So the same link, okay.
Okay. All right.
If you still want to listen to this recording